Do you ever feel like you're living a life on autopilot, disconnected from your true desires? Like you're moving through each day, checking off tasks, responding to what others need. But when you stop for a moment, you realize you don't even know what you want. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Today, we're exploring the transformative power of self inquiry and how a simple set of reflection questions can be the key to unlocking your authentic self. Whether you're just beginning your self discovery journey or deepening the connection with yourself, these questions are here to guide you in peeling back the layers of masking and rediscovering you. The questions I'll be sharing in this episode are adapted from the original 52 questions for a year of self discovery that changed my life. Let's get started.
Step out of the shadows, feel the power rise, catch the spark inside you, let your spirit fly, beyond the chronic burnout, carol dreams you'll guide, find your steady rhythm, nice joy on the tide, flourish forward, bright and bold, leave the burnout far behind, in this journey hearts unfold. Yours, seek and find.
I remember when I first found the 52 journal prompts. I was in a ghost pepper level 5 burnout in a moderate degree of heat. That was shocking, I know. I was at a point in my life where I was exhausted. Not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. I had spent so long living for others, doing what was expected, and adapting to fit into spaces that just weren't built for me. I realized I had absolutely no clue who I was. So I went to Google and asked, how do I discover who I really am? What I did find was a set of journal prompts on a blog, and as I sat down with those questions, I was shocked to realize I had no clue how to answer them. So I got curious about myself for the first time ever. I was 42, and I got really curious. I began to answer them. A few months later, I'd answer them again and continue to revisit and answer these same questions for the following 3 years. Simple questions like, what's your perfect day? And what do you like? Should have been easy, right? But they weren't. They felt foreign, like I was trying to answer questions about someone I barely knew. That realization was both terrifying and liberating. It was the beginning of a profound journey, one of unmasking, of reclaiming my joy, of building a relationship with myself that had been buried under years of expectations and fear. For autistic women, self-inquiry is not just helpful, it's crucial. I'd say critical. We've spent so much time masking and camouflaging, adapting and prioritizing survival in a world that often misunderstands us. That disconnect from our authentic selves can leave us feeling lost, burnt out, and unsure of who we truly are beneath all those layers. These 52 questions are designed to help that. They're simple yet deeply impactful. They invite curiosity rather than pressure. They're really fun, actually. You don't have to have the answers right away. Sometimes just sitting with a question is enough to create a shift. Think of them as gentle invitations, stepping stones to self-awareness. You don't have to have an answer right away. Sometimes the magic is just reading the question and allowing space for your brain to process it in its own time. The answers always come in some form or another. Don't be surprised if it hits you while you're taking a shower or walking the dog. I remember I really felt uncomfortable when I first started the questions. I felt kind of embarrassed, if I'm going to be honest, because I couldn't answer some of those really simple questions like, what would your perfect day look like? Or what do you really like? Or what are your strengths? I had no freaking clue. I had never stopped to think about them. And so I understand that when you look at these questions, some of these that I've got in the download this week as a tool and a resource for y'all as our subscriber bonus, you're going to look at some of these and go, I don't know. And it may be activating. It may be really hard because you feel like, and I know this was me, I felt like I had to have an answer for everything. And when I didn't have an answer, it didn't feel safe. So I do want to just go ahead and put this out there. When you read these, pay attention. Notice if you feel activated around not having an answer, if the shame storm comes in, if the fear and discomfort in your body shows up, just kindly acknowledge it and say, hey, you know what? These questions, I don't have to have all the answers to right away. The whole part and the whole purpose of what I'm doing in this self-inquiry is to get to know me. And that may take a little bit. I have to get comfortable and I got to ease into some of these. So some of the questions you may be able to answer pretty easily. And the ones that you can't, just know the answers do come. They did for me and they have for every one of my clients that has used this. Let's prepare the soil. Now, before we dive into a few of these questions, let's take a moment to prepare the soil for reflection. Wherever you are, if it feels safe and comfortable to do so, find a comfortable position and let's create a space that is all yours. Close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a few deep breaths in and out. In and out. Last one. In and out. Allow your mind to quiet or slow down. Creating space for your inner voice or knowing to emerge. Replace any thoughts or distractions that come up and simply be present in this moment. Sense the ground beneath your feet, the surface beneath your hips. Feel the point of connection and know you are supported. Take a moment just to feel these points of contact. Gently bring your focus back to your breath. Sense the temperature as you inhale and the temperature as you exhale. Notice how the temperature changes between your inhale and exhale. When you're ready, open your eyes. Maybe take a big stretch, wiggle your toes or your fingers. Come back to the present moment. Now, let's plant the seed. I invite you to choose 3 to 5 of these 52 questions that stand out to you. Maybe a question sparks curiosity. Maybe it makes you feel resistance. Either way, that's a clue that it's worth exploring. Don't worry about having the right answers. There's no right or wrong. Just your truth in this moment. Grab a journal, open a notes app, or even speak your thoughts aloud into a recorder if that feels easier. Here are a few questions to get you started. If you had an entire day to spend any way you wanted, no obligations, no limits, what would you do? What makes you laugh? What sparks joy in your heart and brings you bliss? Tell me something about yourself that you don't often share with others, but wish people knew. What are your strengths, your gifts, your talents? And how do you share them with the world? Take your time with these. I'll have them in the show notes below. And remember, the act of reflection itself is very powerful, even if you don't have clear answers yet. Now, let's water and nourish your self-discovery. Let's take this a step further. After journaling, ask yourself these 3 questions. What surprised me most about my answers? How do my responses compare to what I thought I would say? How can I incorporate more self-inquiry into my daily life? Sometimes the biggest revelations come not from the first response, but from revisiting our answers over time. A month from now, your perfect day may look completely different. The things that bring you joy may expand. This is an evolving process, and that's the beauty of it. I'll have these 3 reflection questions for the Water and Nourish section in the show notes below as well. Self-discovery is a journey, not a destination. The goal isn't to figure everything out overnight. Even though I know that's why we all want to hurry up and get there and feel like we figured it out so that we can relax. Well, it's not how that works, I'll just tell you. It is to build a relationship with yourself that feels safe, compassionate, and true. You are worthy of knowing yourself. You are worthy of a life that reflects who you really are. If this episode resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. What questions stood out the most? What surprised you? Share with me in the comments or send me a message. And to help you go even deeper, I've put together a special self-discovery journaling guide. It includes 12 of the best questions to get started from my full 52 questions workbook that's in the unveiling method. Plus, I've included some bonus questions to keep your reflection going. You can download it for free using the link in the show notes as this week's subscriber bonus. The best part is once you sign up for the bonus material this week, you have access to all the subscriber bonuses. And these are great tools and resources for your personal journey or for use in your practice with clients. And if you'd rather have all my weekly goodness and subscriber bonuses sent directly to your inbox on Monday afternoons, join our newsletter, The Recharge, at whittingtonwellbeing.com. Here's what to look forward to next week. Next week, we'll be unveiling your story, why your experience matters. The article that's coming out next week is entitled Reclaiming the Narrative, the Power of Storytelling and Validation for Autistic Women in Clinical Practice. Also coming up in April, I'm really excited to be part of this. I was invited by Sarah Bradford to her International Autism Summit with S.J. Childs. That will be happening on April 25th and 26th. RSVP for this free event and learn more at the link in the show notes below. I'll be speaking on Friday at 12 noon Central Time. I'd love to have you there. I hope this week's resources help you on your path to self discovery, unmasking, and a guide for you in your support of others. Until next time, take care, be gentle with yourself, and keep exploring. You, my friend, are worth knowing. See you next week.
Thanks for being here. It's been quite a ride. Energy mastery, let's turn the tide. Top shelf guests, dropping wisdom bombs. Join us next week, where the energy's strong. Beyond crime.